All right. Hi, everyone. Thank you for joining us today. On behalf of the Chamber, I would like to welcome the Women's Leadership Program class of 2023 and their support system, nominators, managers, sponsors, and loved ones and friends to today's graduation ceremony. My name is Erin Wetterbrook-Yuskaitis, and I am the Director of Learning and Development for the Greater Boston Chamber of Commerce. I am so excited and proud to be here celebrating and honoring all of you today after our WLP journey together. Please note that this virtual graduation ceremony is being recorded and will be posted on YouTube. We will use the spotlight feature today to highlight our incredible speakers. If you would like to see just the speakers, select Speaker View in your Zoom control panel. And if you would like to see everyone in the group, select Gallery View. The mission of Women's Leadership Program is to empower women leaders with the skills and network they need to excel in their careers and to create the conditions for other women to thrive. In partnership with Simmons University Institute for Inclusive Leadership, the Chamber's Women's Network Advisory Board, and a growing alumni network of over 1,000, we aim to close the gender gap in leadership roles in every industry. For the past 9 months, you have studied leadership styles, networking, team management, inclusive leadership, and negotiations. You developed lifelong connections with members of this cohort that will last the rest of your career. You completed a hands-on project to make positive change at your company through the Individual Action Project, and you juggled personal and professional commitments. I hope that you will take all that you learned, experienced, and overcame back with you to make your organizations even more equitable and inclusive places to work. With the new tools in your kit, don't just dismantle barriers, but actually build something better. We can't wait to see what you do next. I also want to extend a heartfelt thank you and congratulations to those who supported you to participate in this program, your managers, your colleagues, and your loved ones. The success of this cohort would not be possible without those of you who took on the extra project or the extra childcare duties, for example, to allow the participants to attend the sessions. So thank you. And I hope those of you who are managers and sponsors will continue to invest in leadership development programs, even as we all need to tighten our belts in this economy. The world can't wait for leaders like these. Congratulations to the WLP class of 2023. Again, you're going to hear that a lot today. You did it. We need leaders like you with the perspectives, tools, and connections to survive, thrive, and conquer the unexpected. It is now my honor to thank our program sponsor, Zipcar, and to introduce Kate Smith, Head of Business to Business and Partnerships at Zipcar. Kate, over to you.
Thank you so much, Erin. And thank you to the GBCC for the opportunity to celebrate all the phenomenal women and their supporters who are with us today. I'm Kate Smith again, and I head up B2B and partnerships at Zipcar. And why we're proud to sponsor this incredible program is because Zipcar was founded by two pioneering women over 20 years ago. And from their bold idea and their ability to turn these ideas into action, they built a business and a model that has lasted and made cities better places to live around the world. So as I was getting ready for taking just a moment to share and celebrate you, I had two thoughts on some career advice for you. And it's really this: your career is a journey. It's a road trip. And there are two things you might want to think about as you embark on it. One is pick a great carpool posse, right? You have one already today. It's your colleagues, it's your managers, it's the people in your organization who support you where you work. And it's also the community of people who help you thrive in your broader life, whether that's on the home front or the friend front or beyond. So always be choiceful. Think of yourself as being worthy of a personal board of directors. Who do you want to ask to be on it? What kind of advice can they give you? How can they help you in good times or bad? And the second piece of advice is really simple. It's enjoy the ride. Time goes by fast. Your career will take many twists and turns, some that you plan, some that you don't. You will learn from every single one of them, and you will always be proud of what you achieve. Just like today, we're proud of each and every one of you. So a special shout out to our Zipcar graduates and to all of you. I'm going to hand the stage back to Erin, but most of all, congratulations.
Thank you, Kate, for those inspiring words, and a special thanks again to Zipcar for making this year's class success possible. Now, I'm absolutely delighted to introduce our first class speaker. Sailaja Joshi is a design thinker, intersectional feminist, mother to two, bibliophile, entrepreneur, lover of bold modern design, diversity activist, and an aspiring dog owner. Today, she is representing our virtual cohort. She is an absolute phenom and impressed our entire learning and development team, in addition to her WLP classmates. A Massachusetts native, Sailaja is the Client Innovation Manager at Accenture's Boston Innovation Hub. In this position, Sailaja uses her skills in the social sciences to help uncover the problems humans face and translate those into real business solutions with a focus on life science clients. She is also the CEO and founder of Mango and Marigold Press, formerly Bharat Babies, an award-winning independent publishing house that shares the sweet and savory stories of the South Asian experience. Founded in 2014, the company has produced 22 books across 4 different product categories and has been featured on the Today Show, Us Weekly, People Magazine, the New York Times, the Washington Post, and so much more. Welcome, Sailaja. Over to you.
Thank you so much. If you've never heard your bio read out, I think all of us should get that at some point because it's very incredible to hear. And so thank you so much, team. Thank you so much, WLP virtual cohort. I am thrilled to be here today to help represent you and to share some thoughts and wisdom from what I've learned over the past several months. I think when the team reached out to me to share that my fellow students had nominated me as a speaker, I was pretty humbled by this experience. As someone who still suffers from imposter syndrome, I was shocked by the fact that I had somehow left an impression on all of you, and the fact that some of you even knew my name. It was incredible. So when I was told I had 5 minutes to chat with y'all, I was like, oh my gosh, that is really, really daunting. While 5 minutes is both a short amount of time, it is an incredibly long amount of time to think about how I am going to communicate what I'd like to share in this experience. And I realized we all went through the past 9 months or so together. We know the materials we've learned, we understood it. Well, what was it I really wanted to share with you that was something that related to me as your speaker today? And so I thought that while this could be a really incredible opportunity, I wanted to share with you my own personal, let's call them isms or mantras or sayings that I've started to keep in mind as a leader. As many of you know, if you've been in a breakout group with me, this past April, I trained for the Boston Marathon and I ran it. And so I spent our 20 weeks together doing a lot of running, and I've had a lot of time to think about leadership. And so there's sort of 4 values here that I want to share with you. And first and foremost, as a leader, what I value above all else is kindness. I really believe in being a kind, caring leader, and I've stepped into this lovely role of middle management in which cruelty as a leader could be one of my leading factors. And candidly, that is just not how I play. Here at Accenture, in this large organization, I've learned that for me to be my authentic self, to be who I am in this space, is one of the most cherished things. And that first and foremost comes with being kind. I'm not interested in those who want to be part of a cutthroat culture, because I think when we build community together, we can create so much power and impact. As this middle manager leader, I'm in this incredible space and opportunity, like many of you, to not only learn from the leadership above me, but help to build the next generation of leaders. And so I think a lot about that as I've created my isms and I think about the next generation. I think also with this kindness piece here, doesn't mean you take it in stride. When there are challenges, when there's an opportunity to provide feedback, we do so, and I look to do so. But what I have learned is that candor without kindness is cruelty. Next, for me, it is about taking up space. I know for so many of my virtual cohort members here, when we go into our breakout groups, you will see me. You'll see me on my walking treadmill. You'll see me in my kitchen. You'll see me doing my work. And I decided to take up space as Sailaja, because that is the only way I know how to be. And that is the only way I have decided to be in this corporate America. Sometimes that can be an incredible challenge, because as a first generation immigrant, as so many of us here, as women, as mothers, as maybe new stage career people, we get this challenge that we might not be good enough. And so to me, I look to take up space, and I encourage you all to take up space in the boardroom, in our meetings, because that means we are able to help cultivate our next generation. This means that the language you might use in your conversation, what you might wear in your hair, the bold color lip that you might be wearing like I am. I choose to show up authentically, and I look forward to seeing all of you choosing to show up authentically as well, because we have that right to take up space and place as we are, who we are. And that translates to our right to ask for equal compensation, equal time in communities, and those management spaces that we deserve. So then I've hearkened to it a little bit, but I truly believe that the best way in which we are going to smash the patriarchy, if you will, is if we show up as authentically ourselves. And so that means with our feminine energy, with whatever energy it might be. It doesn't have to be feminine, but whoever you are makes you the most incredible leader you are here. And if we can challenge and change the face of what the past has thought of as leadership, as they have thought as management, as they have thought of CEOs, that is going to give us the opportunity to help shape a new generation that can challenge and change the patriarchal paradigms in which we are currently working in as middle management, senior management, and soon to be CEOs and C-suites. I think about that disruption all of the time, because I think it's incredibly valuable in breaking up these barriers. I find that when I am authentically myself, if it can be received by those who are willing to take it, and those aren't willing to receive it, that is okay too, because I am still showing up every day in the way I want to be. And finally, last but not least, my piece of advice, and something that I have really started to cherish and value as a leader and try to bring in every day, is to leave the door open. I am talking about that metaphorical door that, like, once you have learned the way of how to climb that ladder, I leave that door so open for my community to come through. And I mean wide open, because it can be so hard as you're trying to navigate this space and place and time in corporate America without community, like the community we have created here. And so I look to leave the door open for my younger generation, for the people who are underneath me, for the people who are working alongside me, rather, I should say, to ensure that they have the time, the values, the materials they need to show up in front of senior leadership, to show up in front of C-suite clients, to share their stories, to share their wow, to be part of the new change that is going to exist here when it comes to creating corporate America. For me, keeping the door open is probably one of my primary values. It is so important, because when we aren't able to help bring people through that change, we won't see that system be able to be enacted. And so to this cohort, I want to take a final moment to say that I'm really proud of us. And I'm really proud of you. I don't know if we realize the magnitude of being a virtual cohort, to still have to live in this nuance of digital and physical, to connect with each other daily through our multiple modes of communication, and to juggle work, life, family, and balance all together as part of this wonderful community and this program. So I'm proud of you. Congratulations, everyone. Thank you for your time, and thank you for nominating me as your commencement speaker. It was an incredible honor. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Sailaja. That was such an incredible and inspirational speech. And I just want to say, I feel so hopeful for the future when I see that we have leaders and middle managers like you in our workplaces and in our communities. And thank you so much. I loved your message about the power and the impact that we have when we build community together and when we are authentically ourselves and just take up space. That's so much of what the Women's Leadership Program is about. So thank you so much for your time today. And I do have to say, I was writing down when she said, candor without kindness is cruelty. And I think that's something that's so crucial for us to remember in our communities and our workplaces. So class of 2023, we have been on quite a journey together. We started with orientation, where we practiced sharing our stories with the artifact exercise. And though many of us were nervous to speak, it was such an inspirational way to highlight the expertise, the experience, and the power within the cohorts. And our learning and development team knew from that very first day that this cohort was made up of remarkable leaders. We then spent time throughout the year in the virtual and in-person classrooms of the Simmons University Institute for Inclusive Leadership. And through those sessions, you all built a robust leadership toolkit. You identified your default leadership style through the HRDQ assessment. You learned how to manage workplace dynamics inclusively. You practiced navigating gendered expectations in the workplace. You learned about intentional networking and put those skills into practice through our candid conversation sessions with former WLP participants and members of the Women's Network Advisory Board. You continue to explore how to use your voice through a public speaking workshop, and you gained skills for empowering yourselves as effective self-advocates. And overall, throughout the program, you built a network with this cohort that we hope will continue long after the program ends today. And I will say throughout the program, this group of incredible leaders showed that you are the leaders that will not only get a seat at the table, but will then bring a chair for another woman to join you. I love what Sailaja said about how we have so much power and impact when we build community together. And I can't wait to see what you do after the program ends. I am now excited to introduce our next class speaker, Vasso Dusoe-Galanis, from our in-person cohort. Vasso is a director and HR business partner for National Grid, where she is passionate about people and optimizing the employee experience. She values authenticity and bringing one's whole self to work, both physically and psychologically. Vasso is skilled at building strong stakeholder relationships, and she loves to collaborate, coach, and challenge, and foster inclusive talent management processes and practices. Remember that one person that impacted your career? Vasso not only likes to be that person, but what she actually likes most, which I love, is empowering and inspiring others to be that person. On a personal note, when I saw that Vasso was nominated by her class to be their cohort speaker, I was not at all surprised because she's been an incredible, inclusive, and collaborative leader throughout the day. Vasso, thank you for joining us, and over to you.
Thank you. Thank you so much, Rachel. Ladies and gentlemen, members of the Greater Boston Chamber of Commerce, Simmons University, Zipcar, esteemed guests, and my fellow superstar peers, welcome. I'm Vasso Dusoe-Galanis. My pronouns are she, her, and I'm a Human Resources Director with National Grid. It's my privilege, and I am thrilled to deliver the commencement address on behalf of the in-person class of 2023 WLP graduates. Thank you for asking me to represent all of you today. Thank you to National Grid and Chief People Officer Jen Briere for putting me here in the first place by nominating me for this program. And my forever special thanks to my family for being my biggest fans. Interior design directors, attorneys, architects, senior program managers, finance leads. These are just a few of the careers of women in my cohort this past year. Dynamic professions, women leaders in their industries, many who are trailblazers, and several on the verge of that greatness, just looking for a way to unlock their true potential. And we all met at the right place. Now, yes, of course, I mean the seaport, but I also mean the Greater Boston Chamber of Commerce Women's Leadership Program. So why did I select the WLP over so many other leadership programs? Well, it had a pretty powerful hook. The program promised to empower us with the skills we need to excel in our careers and create the conditions for other women to thrive. And to say that it achieved its objective would be an understatement. It did in such a systematic and thoughtful way, with each monthly theme building on one another, like pieces to a puzzle that in the end created a crystal clear image of the unstoppable force of women. The formal program was made up of incredible facilitators and speakers who taught us how to understand our strengths, identify the best ways to lead, network through reciprocity, manage perceptions, negotiate for ourselves and others, and learn how to break up with thoughts that are just not good for us. So, from the perspective of its official curriculum, the program delivered on its promise. But I also credit it with another win, just as important, if not more: the relationships we built with one another. I won't forget 35 weeks ago, during those early sessions, how easy and natural it felt to connect with other female leaders, others who shared the same fears and frustrations as me. It felt like that first breath when you're underwater and you're finally breaking the surface. The WLP provided a safe forum to discuss challenges, to find support, a platform not to spread problems, but to spread solutions. One that helped replace negative self-talk with conviction and self-doubt with confidence that we've got this. Akin to a band of brothers, we developed a sisterhood. So thank you, WLP. And in closing, I have a message for my exceptional fellow peers. This is your time to crush those stereotypes and shatter those ceilings. Your time to take your leadership to the next level, to inspire, to impress, and to make a difference. You had the talent. Now you have all the right tools. You symbolize the hopes and dreams of our sisters, our daughters, nieces, and all other young girls out there, because you are the next generation of Boston's finest leaders. Congratulations, and thank you all. Erin, over to you.
Thank you, Vasso. Wow, such impactful words. It has been an absolute joy to have you in our class this year. And we appreciate you so much offering those inspiring words to us as our in-person class speaker. Now for our keynote speaker. It's my honor to introduce Liz Brunner, a certified professional coach and the CEO and founder of Brunner Communications and best-selling author of Dare to Own You, Taking Your Authenticity and Dreams into Your Next Chapter, recommended on Forbes. Leveraging more than 35 years of media and communications experience, expertise, and leadership, Liz is sought by high-profile individuals and organizations to build meaningful reputations and powerful brand identities within their markets. She is also a frequent speaker at corporate conventions, including Stifel, the Barron's Women's Summit, the CoreNet Global Summit, as well as numerous colleges and universities. In 2020, Liz launched her podcast, Live Your Best Life with Liz Brunner, and founded the Brunner Academy of Online Learning, providing access to high-quality public speaker training. Prior to launching Brunner Communications in 2013, Liz served as a main news anchor and reporter at ABC TV, WCVB News Center 5 in Boston. During her tenure, she co-anchored the #1 rated 6 p.m. newscast and covered countless breaking news stories. She conducted exclusive one-on-one interviews with prominent figures ranging from professional athletes to global political leaders, including President Barack Obama. Recognized as one of the nation's most accomplished journalists, Liz's distinguished approach of educating and communicating information to viewers has yielded countless industry awards and earned her a devoted following. Please join me in welcoming Liz Brunner as our keynote speaker. Liz, over to you.
Oh, Erin, thank you so much for that introduction. I was like, is she going to keep going? Oh, my goodness. We can always tighten that up a little bit, but thank you very much for having me. And hello, graduates. May I offer my own congratulations to you for completing this amazing, wonderful, wonderful program. And also, welcome to your families, your friends, your colleagues who are joining you today. I know I'm delighted to be here and certainly enjoyed hearing all of the speakers thus far. So thank you for having me come today. As you heard Vasso say, you all come from so many different walks of life, various industries in this community, and levels of experience in the workplace. But no matter where you started 35 weeks ago with this wonderful program, today you are about to embark on yet another journey of your life, another new chapter, another leadership chapter in your life. All of those experiences that you have just had, take them with you. And they sound like it was such an amazing program for you and wonderful opportunities to learn. No knowledge is ever wasted. No knowledge is ever wasted. That's actually a quote from my grandmother, Dr. Dorothy Chaco. Yes, every experience we have, every opportunity we have, every career chapter we have had, good, bad, everything in between, all of that is experience and knowledge. And when we explore all of those experiences, we can begin to connect the dots. And when we take time to connect the dots, we begin to own more of who we are, that authenticity that Sailaja was talking about. We begin to fully live authentic lives, and we can create and understand more fully our own leadership style. One of the things I enjoy so much about the work that I do is helping my clients figure out their leadership style through the themes and patterns that run through their lives like rivers. What dots can be connected? I ask all of you, what dots and themes did you connect during this program? What rivers did you discover during these past 35 weeks together and on your own? Carry them forward. But no matter where you are today, I want you to consider this. Some of you are very young in your career journey, and some of you have been at it a long time, more than 25 years in some cases. But I'm such a firm believer that no matter where you are, no matter how successful you are, no matter how happy you are, where you are, I believe we all need to be thinking about, what might my next chapter be? It's rare today that you're going to find people who have been with one company in one position for 25 years or more. Gone are the days when people used to get the gold watch for their long tenure. I got a rocking chair when I had been at Channel 5 for 10 years. I don't have the rocking chair anymore. But I do believe we need to keep asking ourselves, what else might I do? How else might I be living my life? How else could I be of service to others, to my community? How could I be more of a leader? My path has certainly had me asking those questions many, many times. And now as an entrepreneur, I'd like to say I'm currently in my 4th chapter. I have a degree in music. Yes, music. I started out as a high school music teacher and I sang semi-professionally. We did concert tours in Austria, Germany, Switzerland, Italy, and even in Greece. And in Italy, we sang for Pope John Paul II in Vatican Square. But after a couple of years of teaching, I felt there was something more that I was supposed to do. Now, mind you, I had absolutely no clue what that was going to be. But when my contract ended, I left. And I worked in retail for a couple of years to pay the bills. That was chapter 2. And by the way, that sales experience has come in handy. And then I had this amazing 25-year career in television, actually 28 years in television, 20 of them at WCVB Channel 5, as you heard Erin mention. And I did that without wearing the big J on my chest, that J standing for journalist. I was a music major. But once again, I felt organically there was something more I was supposed to do, and I had absolutely no clue what it was. All I did know was that I wanted to take all of this experience, all of this expertise that I had honed over these years, and the gifts that I feel I had been blessed with, and I wanted to share them with other people. And so for 2 years, quietly and confidentially, I was talking to leaders in this community. What does somebody like me do when you think You might want to do something else if and when you're ready to leave TV. Well, I have to tell you, their answers were very entertaining. Some of them would say to me, oh, well, I see you read the news every night. Trust me, it's more than just reading the news every night. But what I came to learn was I had to speak their language to help them understand what my skill set was, because in television, we have our own language. Breaking news in television might be crisis management in the corporate world. Being a project manager in the corporate world is very much like being a reporter or a producer. All those skills are very, very similar. And so once I figured that out, some dots began to be connected, some themes and patterns began to emerge. And I shared with one of my mentors this 3-lane process that I had come up with. Okay, 1, I could be some communications expert for some company. I had no idea who. I could maybe become an executive director for a nonprofit organization, although I'd never done that either. Or I could launch my business. And I could teach people about presence and public speaking and storytelling and leadership. And oh yes, media training as well. And this is what my mentor said to me. He said, Liz, you're well known, you're well respected, you have credibility. That is value. Why would you give that value to somebody else? Launch your business. If in 6 months or 9 months, you don't have any clients, you don't like what you're doing, you can always go do something else. A kaleidoscope went click, and I knew in that moment that's exactly what I was going to do. But wait, I never ever wanted to run my own business. I didn't think I was smart enough to run my own business. I was petrified. What if I had no clients? What if no one wanted to hire me? I didn't have a proven track record of teaching people how to do this. What if I fail? I was so worried about what if I failed and what people would think of me. But I believed if fear was the only thing stopping me, that simply was not a good enough reason. There was a quote by Dr. Robert Schuller that kept me going and gave me so much courage. What would you attempt to do if you knew you would not fail? What would any of you do if you knew you would not fail, if you didn't allow fear to stand in your way? Took a leap of faith. I launched Brunner Communications in 2013. And what's funny to me is to this day, when some people will recognize me or they recognize my voice, they may ask, well, how is your retirement? Trust me, I have not retired. In fact, Brunner Communications is going to celebrate 10 years this October. Wow, how time flies. That's what Kate was talking about earlier. As an executive coach, I've traveled the country sharing my expertise and my experiences one-on-one and in workshops. And I love it because it's transformational. At first, it's hard for people to connect the dots. How did that happen? How did you go from being a music teacher to TV to running your own business? It's all storytelling and finding your voice. Those are the themes and patterns that run through my life personally and professionally. As a singer, I was using my voice, sharing stories through song. As a journalist, I shared other people's stories. As an executive coach, I help people find their voice to share their stories. And now I share my story. And I'm doing so with my keynote speaking and in my book, which Erin mentioned, Dare to Own You, taking your authenticity and dreams into your next chapter. I invite you to please check it out. It's on lizbrunner.com. You can find it anywhere. And actually, the impetus for the book was the quote I shared with you earlier, no knowledge is ever wasted, from my grandmother. That was actually the original title of the book. And I started writing in 2019, and then I felt like I was going off course, so I stopped writing. And of course, life gets in the way sometimes. I didn't pick it back up again until 2021. I managed to figure out how to take all that skill and that experience, that knowledge, and connect the dots. And if I can do it, if I can create this many chapters for myself, if I can discover my own authentic leadership style, anybody can. You have your path, your life, your dream. And as you continue on your own leadership journey, it is so important to own who you are, to know who you are first. And let's face it, as women, we face some unique circumstances. We're trying to balance family life, and COVID-19 certainly didn't help. Finding the right role models and mentors and facing subtle biases in any industry. But believe it or not, some of the challenges may be self-inflicted. We may struggle to put ourselves forward. We may be too scared to say yes, and we don't want to do so until we've crossed every T and dotted every I. Hopefully in this program that you were in, you have learned you don't need to cross every T and dot every I. Preparation is more powerful than perfection. Do not sell yourself short. Do not sell yourself short of the value that you offer and bring to the table. Own all of that. Maybe you're in an industry where you're considered a minority for whatever reason, but it's not about whether you are in the minority. It's about your level of persuasion and influence within your organization, your leadership within your organization. And none of us as women can go it alone. We need to support one another. We need to create solidarity. We need to learn to amplify other women in the room and to ensure that they not only have a seat at the table, that we have that door open, as Sailaja said, but they are seen and heard as they intend. And this program offered you the opportunity to do all of that and to connect with amazing women. We heard from two of them earlier. You learned how to network. You need to share in each other's journey. Do not let that go to waste. Stay connected. Nourish those relationships that you have built. And be brave. You must be brave. Sharing my journey in my book, Dare to Own You, certainly was one of the bravest things I think I've ever done. It's filled with TV stories, not a tell-all, but it also shares some of the risks that I have had to take and some of the obstacles that I have overcome, obstacles like my own feelings of a lack of self-confidence, a lack of self-worth, having to fight through my own inner critic and imposter syndrome moments, feelings that many of us have, that we're too afraid to acknowledge sometimes. It can be scary to be that vulnerable and that authentic, but it's what we need to do. There's a car commercial, I think it was a car commercial, that I heard many, many years ago. I don't remember who or what, but I remember the tagline. It's okay to be afraid because it gives you the opportunity to be brave. Think about that for a moment. It's okay to be afraid because it gives you the opportunity to be brave. Certainly starting my business was one of the scariest things I've ever done, even more scary than skydiving, believe it or not, after jumping out of an airplane at 30,000 feet and go free falling for 60 seconds before pulling my parachute. At least, when I was starting my business, I hoped I had a parachute. When I went skydiving, at least I did have one. 10 years have flown by, but I will say this, being an entrepreneur is not for the faint of heart. It's one thing to have a vision. It's another thing to implement it because it takes initiative, determination, and perseverance, 3 qualities that you need as leaders on your journey. My vision for my life is to teach, to motivate, to inspire people to live their best life, whatever that means for you, whatever that means for you. Come full circle from high school teacher to being a coach, to helping clients find their voice, how to use it to share their stories, both personally and professionally. I see the progress in my clients often before they do, but when they see it, when they feel it, that's the best feeling in the world. That is success. I'm very passionate about what I do, but I'm also wondering, what's my next chapter? No knowledge is ever wasted. I believe it'll be continue to be of service, to pursue my vision through my coaching, my podcast, my book, and being a motivational speaker. But I want to ask all of you, I want to challenge all of you. What dots can you connect? What themes and patterns did you discover during this wonderful WLP program? Be brave. Do not let fear get in your way. I invite you to own all of who you are. Give yourself permission to be that authentic, to turn your dreams into reality, to own the leader within each of you. It is there. In the words of Henry David Thoreau, go confidently in the direction of your dreams. Live the life that you have imagined. Live your best life for you. Congratulations, graduates, on going through this wonderful program. And I thank you for the honor and privilege of being with you to celebrate you. And now, Colin, I'm going to send it back to you because I know you're going to share with us who all these wonderful women are who were in this program this year.
Yes, thank you so much, Liz, for those amazing and inspirational words. I'm sure everyone was inspired. And now, without further ado, I'm going to share sorry, one second. All right, and here, without further ado, are the graduations of WLP Class 2023.
And please add any congratulations to your graduates in the chat, and we'll read those aloud.
Thank you, everyone. And I'm going to go in reverse order so you can see those names one more time. Congratulations, everyone. It's great to see the chat. There's so many congratulations. Awesome. And now I'm going to pass it over to my colleague, Erica Smith, to share a little information about how to stay connected with the chamber.
Colin, so congratulations to the Women's Leadership Program Class of 2023. I'm so happy to have the opportunity to say hello. I'm Erica Smith. I am the Director of Member Services here at the Chamber, and I really want to encourage each of you to stay active with the Chamber and to take advantage of your organization's memberships, as each of you have access to the Chamber's events, programs, and initiatives. I'm also an alumni of the Women's Leadership Program, so I encourage you to stay engaged with our Women's Network as well. It's a great way to continue to build the relationships you've already developed over this past year. So through this program, you got a taste of what the Chamber has to offer, and I want to give you a bit of an overview of other ways you can stay involved post-graduation. So the mission of the Greater Boston Chamber of Commerce is to make Greater Boston the best place for all businesses and all people to thrive. We work towards this mission through a number of initiatives. First, we offer over 100 standalone events each year that range from the Women's Network forums you experience during the program to our government affairs forums with local elected leaders, to our special events like our recent annual meeting, to City Awake events catering to our young professionals. We also offer BEMA for our marketing and digital media professionals. The Chamber also researches, develops, and advocates for the public policies that contribute to the economic success of our region along 6 policy priorities. And those are transportation, taxes and good government, housing, healthcare, education, and climate readiness. Thirdly, we offer a portfolio of learning and development programs to give participants like you the skills and the networks that they need for their careers. You've already experienced our Women's Leadership Program, but we also offer our Boston Future Leaders Program, as well as a Transformational Diversity, Equity, and Inclusion Certificate, which will be offered again this fall. And we've also added some new certificates and seminars as well to our portfolio. Finally, we have an economic opportunity arm that ensures that all the work we are doing benefits everybody. And this arm has a specific focus on racial equity. So no matter what your interest or experience level, we do have a seat waiting here for you. The best way to find out about these opportunities is by subscribing to our newsletters or reaching out to myself or my fellow member services representatives. So we're excited to get you engaged with the Chamber and keep you engaged, and we can't wait to see what each of you do next. And with that, I turn it over to Erin.
Thank you so much, Erica. We hope to see all of you at future Chamber events and programs. And once again, congratulations to the class of 2023. Although the Women's Leadership Program closes today, I hope your commitment to supporting one another, to advocating for yourself, and to creating the conditions for other women to thrive continues with gusto. Thank you to our sponsor once again, Zipcar. Thank you to all of the supporters who are tuning in today. Thank you to my team, Rachel and Colin, for making this program a reality. Thank you to our phenomenal speakers today. And thank you to everyone tuning in for your dedication to gender equity in the workplace. Class of 2023, as Rachel said earlier, we can't wait to see what you do next, and the Chamber will support you every step of the way. Our graduation ceremony is concluded. Have a fantastic night.